For what purposes does the gentleman from New York seek recognition?
As the member designated by Mr. Deutsch of Florida pursuant to H-Res 965, I inform the House that Mr. Deutsch will vote yea on the previous question on H-Res 1053.
Okay, we ready? Yes. For what purposes does the gentleman from Arizona seek recognition?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As the member designated by Mr. Lacy Clay pursuant to H.R. 965, I inform the House that Mr. Clay will be voting aye on the previous question on House Resolution 1053.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Virginia seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. McEachin pursuant to House Resolution 965, I inform the House that Mr. McEachin will vote yea on the previous question on House Resolution 1053. Mr. Speaker, as the member designated by Ms. Porter pursuant to House Resolution 965, I inform the House that Ms. Porter will vote yea on the previous question on House Resolution 1053.
Does the gentleman from California seek recognition?
I do indeed seek recognition as the member designated by Mr. Ro Khanna pursuant to House Res 965. I inform the House that Mr. Khanna will vote yea on the previous question for H-Res 1053.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Connecticut seek recognition?
As the member designated by Ms. Wilson pursuant to H-Res 965, I inform the House that Ms. Wilson of Florida will vote yes on the previous question on H-Res 1053.
Does the gentleman from Pennsylvania seek recognition?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As the member designated by Ms. Lofgren pursuant to H-Res 965, I inform the House Ms. Lofgren will vote yea on the previous question on H-Res 1053. As the member designated by Mr. Garamendi pursuant to H-Res 965, I inform the House Mr. Garamendi will vote yea on the previous question on H-Res 1053.
Purpose does the gentleman from New Jersey seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, as the member designated by Ms. Bonnie Watson Coleman pursuant to House Resolution 965, I inform the House that Ms. Watson Coleman will vote yea.
Does the gentlewoman from Florida seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Payne of New Jersey pursuant to HRES 965, I inform the House that Mr. Payne will vote yea on the previous question on HRES 1053.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Tennessee seek recognition?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As the member designated by Mr. Lipinski pursuant to HRES 965, I inform the House that Mr. Lipinski will vote yea on the previous question on HRES 1053.
For what purpose does the gentleman from California seek recognition?
As the member designated by Representative Tony Cardenas pursuant to HRES 965, I inform the House that Mr. Cardenas will vote yea on the previous question on HRES 1053.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Massachusetts seek
As
recognition?
the member designated by Mr. Welch of Vermont pursuant to H-Res 965, I will inform the House that Mr. Welch will vote aye on the previous question on H-Res 1053.
Any member wish to change a vote? On this vote, the yeas are 220 and the nays are 162. The previous question is ordered. The question is on the adoption of the resolution. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Mr. Speaker. Mr.
The
Speaker.
gentleman from Georgia is recognized.
On that, I ask for the yeas and nays.
Pursuant to Section 3 of House Resolution 965, the yeas and nays are ordered. Pursuant to Clause 8 of Rule 20, further proceedings on this question are postponed. Okay.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Georgia seek recognition?
Madam Speaker, I ask unanimous consent to speak out of order.
Without objection, the gentleman from Georgia is recognized.
William Cullen Bryant said, "So live that when thy summons comes to join the innumerable caravan which moves to that mysterious realm where each shall take his chamber in the silent halls of death, thou go not like the quarry slave at night, scourged to his dungeon, but sustained and soothed by an unfaltering trust, approach thy grave like one who wraps the drapery of his couch about him and lies down to pleasant dreams." Ladies and gentlemen of the House, it has become my solemn duty as Dean of the Georgia delegation of the United States House of Representatives to announce and include in the records and proceedings of this august body notice that since we last convened, and specifically on Friday, July 17, 2020, the Honorable John Robert Lewis, representative of the 5th Congressional District of Georgia, our hero, our colleague, our brother, our friend, received and answered his final summons from God Almighty, and at that moment transitioned from labor to reward. The world is a better place because John Lewis spent his life pursuing freedom, justice, opportunity, love, and peace for all of humanity. While he is an icon in the history of America for his courage and his sacrifice in making good trouble, his enduring humility reflected the true timbre of his character. He inspired us as the conscience of the Congress, and we have all been truly blessed to know, love, and share the life and legacy of this extraordinary human being. I ask that you join my wife, Vivian, and me, along with the members of the Georgia delegation, in extending our deepest condolences to John's family, friends, staff, including his faithful and devoted Chief of Staff, Michael Collins, and all those around the world who mourn his loss. John, rest in peace and lie down with pleasant dreams, knowing that this current generation will continue the fight for the ultimate realization of your beloved community. Madam Speaker, I now yield to my distinguished colleague from Georgia, Mr. Graves.
Thank you, Mr. Bishop. I first met John Lewis just a few feet from where we are right now, in the well of the House. I was a special elect member-to-be, and it was John who welcomed me down in the well. I'll never forget that day. It was his thunderous voice that filled the chamber as he welcomed me and introduced me to each of you. He honored me that day. Afterwards, he embraced me, and then he stood by me as I put my hand up and took the oath of office. It's truly a privilege now for me to be able to stand before you and to honor him, not far from where he honored me, as we remember the life and the legacy of who is known as a gentle, gentle giant. A man whose courage and strength in the face of injustice and violence will forever be remembered. A man whose kindness and humility was apparent to anyone who had the opportunity to meet him. Our nation has indeed lost a giant. And it's times like these that we must be reminded of the shoulders that we stand on, the shoulders of giants like John. I'm better off because of John Lewis. We are all better because of John Lewis. Our nation is so much better because of John Lewis. So in the days to come, we should all strive to be a little bit more like John. Humble, grateful, and thankful for the opportunity to leave this nation in better shape for the next generation. May God bless John Lewis and bring peace to his family in the days to come. Yield back.
Madam Speaker, I ask that all members rise for a moment of silence in remembrance of the Honorable John Robert Lewis.
The chair asks that all those present in the chamber, as well as members and staff throughout the Capitol, and all who love John Lewis, wherever you are, rise in a moment of silence in remembrance of the conscience of the Congress, the Honorable John Lewis. For what purpose does the gentleman from Georgia seek further? For what purpose does the gentleman from Georgia seek further recognition?
Madam Speaker, I offer a privileged resolution and ask for its immediate consideration.
The clerk will report the resolution.
House Resolution 1054, resolved that the House has heard with profound sorrow of the death of the Honorable John Lewis, a representative from the state of Georgia. Resolved that a committee of such members of the House as the Speaker may designate, together with such members of the Senate as may be joined, be appointed to attend the funeral. Resolved that the Sergeant of Arms of the House be authorized and directed to take such steps as may be necessary for carrying out the provisions of these resolutions, and that the necessary expenses in connection therewith be paid out of applicable accounts of the House. Resolved that the clerk communicate these resolutions to the Senate and transmit a copy thereof to the family of the deceased. Resolved that when the House adjourns today, it adjourn as a further mark of respect to the memory of the deceased.
Without objection, the resolution is agreed to, and the motion to reconsider is laid upon the table. Thank you, Mr. Bishop. Thank you, Mr. Graves.
Pursuant to Clause 8 of Rule 20, the unfinished business is the vote on adoption of House Resolution 1053, on which the yeas and nays are ordered. The clerk will report the title of the resolution.
House Calendar Number 84, House Resolution 1053, resolution providing for consideration of the bill H.R. 6395 to authorize appropriations for fiscal year 2021 for military activities of the Department of Defense and for military construction, to prescribe military personnel strengths for such fiscal year and for other purposes, providing for consideration of the bill H.R. 7027, making additional supplemental appropriations for disaster relief requirements for fiscal year ending September 30th, 2020, and for other purposes, providing for consideration of the bill H.R. 7327, making additional supplemental appropriations for disaster relief requirements for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2020, and for other purposes, and providing for consideration of the Senate amendments to the bill H.R. 1957 to amend the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 to modernize and improve the Internal Revenue Service, and for other purposes.
The question is on adoption of the resolution. Members will record their votes by electronic device. Does the gentleman from Pennsylvania seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Case of Hawaii, pursuant to House Resolution 965, I inform the House that Mr. Case will vote yea on House Resolution 1053.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Rhode Island seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, as the member designated by Ms. Pingree of Maine pursuant to House Resolution 965, I inform the House that Ms. Pingree will vote yea on House Resolution 1053.